Good evening, and welcome to Not Whiskey Wednesday with TinMan-Metal. Stand by. What's happening, folks? It's this dumbass back to bless or curse your ear holes with my voice. Well, I got the chat and we're all fresh. Just had dinner. We're fresh. There was a reason for it, Sir Bobbert. You should have video now. You should have video now. You should have the video. Everything is showing video on my end. I have an amazing camera. You should have video now. Do y'all got video now? Let me know. Because if you don't have video now, then I'm going to scrap this and start all over again. Literally trying to bring the podcast to YouTube. Gen X says 5x5 video and audio. And I think I had somebody break into my cave here. I have a fat orange cat behind me now. So, okay, you guys say I'm good. Awesome. Before we get started into the fun festivities this fine evening, y'all get to pick my beverage for the chat, for the live. We got Wolf King. We have Alone in the Woods. We have Age of Otters. And we have Double Fog Monster. Those are the selections. Wolf King, Alone in the Woods, Age of Otters, and Double Fog Monster. So you guys pick. I will go grab whatever. And then we're going to get sitting down here and getting into the nitty gritties. Because I have had so many messages today about everything going on, not doing the podcast. So I figured I'd try to make this close to the podcast, how it was. So yeah, I don't have White Claws. I don't have Shine that I'm going to drink here because I have to function tomorrow. Covert says Double Fog Monster. The only seltzers I have in my home are LaCroix. I love LaCroix. So got one vote for Double Fog Monster. Josiah doesn't like me. I know he loves me, but he doesn't like me. Oh, shit. Shit. Wolf King, Alone in the Woods, Age of Otters, Double Fog Monster. Those are the choices. I don't want to hear no Twisted Tea or nothing like that. I ain't got none of that. Dealer's choice. World needs a spicy schizo rant fueled by Double Fog Monster. That's fair. That's it, or 100 pipers. I have one piper upstairs. It's my daughter's cat. She is, we call her Crack Pipe. She is the schizo loaf. I can barely deal with one piper, let alone 100 of them. Loftley says Age of Otters, and Covert says Double Fog Monster. I need a tiebreaker. Double Fog Monster is a 19.2 ounce at 9.5 horsepower, whereas the Otters is a 12 ounce at 7 horsepower. Okay, Sir Bobbert broke the tie there. I am going for the Double Fog. I shall return. Un momento, por favor, mi amigos. Oh, mercy sakes alive. Estás aquí. Double fog monster. Here we go, folks. All right. That's some fresh cracking right there. All right. Get rid of my tobacco. Cheers. I recommend y'all open something and get into it because it's going to be one of them. I might actually need to get that, the Batman mask, because I don't have a Krisky mask. I have a freaking awesome pen around here somewhere. I have an awesome pen. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. Yeah, I have a Krisky fucking pen. Anyway, it's going to be one of those. If I had the mask, I would put it on. So, if y'all have been living under a rock, which I know the 80 y'all in the chat, you probably ain't been living under a rock. You're probably keeping up on things. I was able to jump into TMT's live stream last evening for just a little bit. I had to get up extra early this morning and meet some contractors at work. Our water's been out all week at work. Our heat, our furnace has been out all week. So I had to jump in and be the contact for this, that, and the other to get everything set up with contractors to fix shit. So I had to jump off fairly early. I was only on for a little bit. But I have a feeling these gentlemen, Lawfully being one of them, talked about this stuff last evening. Grizzly, good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Say his name and he shall appear. That's what I always say about Andrew. I'm literally talk to the wife about Andrew and like say something about whatever or whatnot, anything, and something about the dog and the nasty ball, and I'm gonna like pack up a package of freaking tennis balls and send it for Stella and Haribo. But and then poof, next thing you know, he's calling me. But anyway, no, living under a rock, had to get up early, so on, blah blah blah. Fast forwarding here. I had a lot to do at work, so I didn't get to stick on as long as I would have liked to. Lawfully being one of the gentlemen that was on the chat, Justin be another, Pat Riot another one, and of course the man himself, TMT. Now, was thinking maybe I'd get into it, but I had to bounce early because of freaking adulting, and I hate it. But now that that's over with, cheers. Just say Mayo 3 times and Gen X will appear. Disastrous. Good to see you, Gen X. Good to see you, brother. What a world we live in, guys. What a freaking world. There's so many things. I could do like a 17-hour live stream and I probably wouldn't be able to cover half of it because I'm only one domesticated moron. I don't have my gaggle of other domesticated morons to join me. Where do I even begin? Venezuela, since that was like the chain of events, like one of the things. I had already talked about the currency and all that kind of stuff, and with the silver and the pricing and the US dollar crashing, that all ties directly to this whole Venezuela thing with the oil. Because oil equals what? Dineros, dollars, right? Remember the whole petrodollar thing? Fiat currency, petrodollar. The world was trading oil based on US dollars. Well, there was this nice little group of Power Rangers that came together and called themselves BRICS. And they were trying to set up a secondary, like outside the norm way of trading oil and selling oil and so on and so forth, using those nations' currencies in an exchange for oil. Okies, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. If I miss anybody in the chat, I apologize. I am on one tonight, and I don't have a cohort in crime this evening to watch chat while I'm going off. So I love y'all. Everybody say hi to whoever joins for me, so I ain't having to as much. So this currency, they were trading in rupees and yen and this and that and whatever, doesn't matter. they're trading in their own currencies to avoid having to use the US dollar. We ended up seeing the rise in the OPEC and the oil from the Middle East. The oil coming in from the Middle East is and what they call sweeter. Okay. It's easier to process, easier to refine. The oil that comes out of Venezuela has a higher sulfur content. So it is harder to refine and process for all of the different petroleum needs. Now, with that being said, there was this little tiny company. I mean, they're just like that big, did you wee little company called Exxon. And they, being down in Andrew's neck of the woods, they jumped into this whole thing and they're like, hey, Venezuela, we can refine this for you. Just work with us and we can refine it. Well, Exxon set up shop. In doing so, that's when they started pulling the oil from Venezuela and putting it through Exxon. In the end, all of these places, all of these big oil, all these big pharma, all these big food, all the big tech, all the big banks, all of the big industries, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, what? They all have shell companies and played the shell games with money and things, stuff, and whatnot. It's all out there. Anybody can see it. Anybody can do the research and look it up. When Venezuela was dealing with the US and dealing with Exxon, they were like, we're kind of getting the raw end of the deal on this because we aren't getting the money from our own oil. They weren't getting the previous administrations or whoever signed on the dotted line didn't really care because they were getting a kickback. We all know how that goes here in the US, right? With kickbacks and such. Moral of the story is Venezuela had a savior. They make fun of him. Winnie the Pooh, his country, China, they came in and said, Huang Tong Ding Dong Jing Jong Jing Jing. I don't know. I'm just being silly. But they came in and basically said to Venezuela, they said, hey, we can set up a refinery here. You don't have to export it out to the US, save on all that. We'll just set up a refinery here. We'll be able to process it here in Venezuela, cut you out of that whole thing. Venezuela's like, I think I can get a better deal with these guys. Sorry, I'm taking my business elsewhere. Venezuela's economy, don't go by what the talking heads are saying. Don't go by what you're seeing on the social medias about and the mainstream media about the conditions in Venezuela. We have a local girl here whose family is from Venezuela, and she's like literally showing me pictures and videos and everything else of visiting her family there and is saying like ever since they had done that, like the economy improved like dramatically. They're not everybody's not living in the streets emaciated and eating rats and picking out of garbage cans. It's not the cat. That's not the case. It's not. Much like they want us to believe, it's not the case. These cats are live they were living fat. They were living good. Maybe not great, but they were living good. But then enter Maduro. He does this whole thing with the Chinese and all this and all that. Was he a douche? I don't know the man personally, but probably. Probably. Did he probably cut some kind of deal to get extracted in the middle of the night? Probably. I don't know. I heard there was a Delta operation. There was all kinds of stuff with the operation. I'm not going, you know, zero dark 30 here tonight on that and getting into the military aspects of things. There is the man himself, Mr. ACR Protect, Andrew, my partner in thought crime. So, this whole thing with Venezuela, You have Russia floating around out here. You got China floating around out here. We know that TDA, Tren de Aragua, they are here in the US. They were up in Colorado doing some kind of stuff, taking over this, that, and the other, and whatnot. Not getting into that. We know they are here. They are doing things within CONUS. Now, with them being here already, where we know, where do we not know? But we also do know that Iran also has ties to Venezuela. There has been talk of the IRGC having people in Venezuela. Okay, tracking along here. Iran has people in Venezuela, China, Russia. See how this is all kind of forming here. What countries don't have a, how do I put this in air quotes? They don't have a sponsored central bank. They're one of the countries that doesn't. Long story short, there is a lot more to all this than just oil. There is so much more to this than just oil. Don't take this at face value. There's a lot of things that led up to this. There's a lot of things that are happening in synchronized rhythm with this. There's a symphony going on that we're only just getting like the bass line and maybe a freaking violin out of the entire orchestra. That's it. That's all we're getting. You have these tankers that go in and out because they're shipping stuff, right? There's going to be tanker ships all over the place. You can literally go onto the apps for like the ship trackers. An old buddy of mine used to follow the ships. I followed the skies, he followed the water. He sh- like shared with me the fact of, for every cargo ship there's like 3 tanker ships going and moving oil and refined petroleum, whatever, all over the world at any given moment. Well, that being said, there is a lot of petrol out on the high seas at any given time. Cartels are bringing in the drugs on the boats and whatnot and got a, you know, but wasn't there just something happened with a letter of marque for taking down drug boats, cartels, stuff like that? Hmm. Interesting. There have been reports of one nation's ship flying another nation's flag to try and just stave off the Coast Guard and the Navy. Like, we're really Russia, but we're going to fly this flag, or we're China, we're going to fly this flag. There's been some of that going on. There have been this whole shadow fleet talk. Tanker was seized today. Recording this live on 1/7/26, roughly 1935 hours EST. Today, there was allegedly a tanker ship that was Russian. Or was it Chinese? We don't know because they tell us one thing, but then if you look at another post, this is a discussion I had with Andrew the other day. If you look at one post, you see one thing, but if you look at another one, you see something else. So you get all of the talking heads that are out there, as I call them, the government sponsored influencers, talking about stuff. And it's like they got their talking points, but when they were given the talking points, this person got the Russia one, this one person got the China one, this person got the fucked Hardistan one, whatever. They all get their talking points and they speak to what they are given. I'll get more into this in a moment here. Well, maybe a few moments. With this being said, tanker seized today, but there was allegedly a Russian sub in tow, like it was following. Meanwhile, while the Venezuela raid gotcha moment happened with Maduro, there were two Russian subs that were picked up and were apparently pinged by a destroyer saying, "Hey, don't you dare! We got you." And apparently the subs were back, like we're like, "Dude, we just got our popcorn. We're just watching us, seeing what's going on, man." Nothing happened with that. Alpha, good to see you, sir. So we have the subs with the destroyers and all that, but nothing happened. But now we have a tanker that is captured by the US. Another one. I mean, there's been talk of a few here recently. Why are I'm sidebarring this? Why are we going after another country's natural resources? Don't answer. It's rhetorical. Why we've done it for eons, but why are we going there and we're seizing the oil? The oil, we're gonna make it great. We're gonna make Venezuela great. It's gonna be mucho grande. It's gonna be bueno, very bueno. I love Venezuela. We're gonna go and get their oil. Put a stranglehold on that. Venezuela produces like 40-45% of China's oil that they utilize in manufacturing. Over here, we have the US. Well, we have all the frac pads and so on and so forth, and we're always worrying about this, that, and the other. And we heard during a campaign not too long ago, drill, baby, drill, right? Did we not also hear, day one, I'm going to reopen the Keystone XL pipeline? It's a glorious pipeline. A lot of people love the pipeline. I give them the pipeline every chance I get. Right? We heard that. Why not? If we need oil so badly, why did we not open the Keystone XL? Right? We're going after Venezuela, putting a chokehold on that. I understand with enemies, so on and so forth. Why even have enemies? Why not come to terms? Be like, we haven't had a really good past. Let's figure this out. Let's work together because you need our help. We need your help. We're far stronger together than we are divided, much like our own nation, right? Y'all are in this chat because we all have some kind of common denominator here. I mean, you're not here to watch a spin class. You're not here to watch me knit. You're not here to listen to the soothing sounds of light jazz, right? Bobby B, good to see you, brother. Thank you for jumping in. We all have a common denominator. Why don't they work this out? And they can't. They can't. Venezuela produces 40 to 45% of China's oil. China needs it. Well, if we hit Venezuela, we're getting taking care of the fentanyl, which actually comes from China, but we're taking care of the fentanyl and the drugs, and we're liberating the people. How does everybody feel about the whole liberating an actual sitting president? Love him or hate him, elected, not whatever, he was the sitting leader of that nation. Going in, zipping him out, him and his wife, bringing him to the US to charge him under US law. Wait a minute. One of the charges I saw in there that Bolt on Blondie was trying to put on Maduro was literally him having machine guns. Okay, let's go to Venezuela for a minute here. You can actually do your research and look this up. It is not against the law in Venezuela for the Venezuelan president to have machine guns. It's not. So how are they charging him with that? He has a full functioning military for whatever they could be terrible or whatever, but he has some type of security forces, some type of military. They went after him for having arms. Wait a minute. The, the stuff isn't adding up here. The same people that are totally okay with just going in and doing that should not have any qualms, should not have had any qualms if, say, I'm making this up. So relax. So during the FJB regime, flaccid Joe Biden, during his regime, if, say, Pakistan decided, we do not like that guy, we're coming to get him, blah, 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 durka, durka, whatever. And they come in and they did the same thing and they scooped up FJB. Most of us would be like, some of us would be like, man, we had some great freaking memes and gifts and stuff. Like, you're taking away a comedy freaking relief for us. Other people would have really needed this stuff because they would have got their butt cheeks tight. Yeah. How would we feel if somebody swooped in? Okay, prime example. Prime example, because it was going to get to this in a little bit anyway. Greenland. Okay. Greenland. Dude wants to take over Greenland, make it part of the US, right? We keep hearing talk about that, heard that a while back, then it can't talk about it because we got other stuff going on. Now that we went into Venezuela and did the thing there. Now it's Greenland, meh, Cuba, meh, Nicaragua, meh, Colombia. At that point, we would literally like, U.S. is here. We would literally have Greenland. We have Alaska. We literally have Canada surrounded. At that point, they are basically locked in. We have them surrounded. We have tactical advantage. We can, right? So Canada, hey, we have Greenland. We got Alaska. We're coming for you. So Greenland. What if Denmark, because Greenland is territory of Denmark, what if Denmark said, hey, US, we want to liberate the United States from the charismatic carrot and his wife? We're going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and swing on by, do a little scoochy poo and pick them up, and we're going to bring them over here to liberate you guys on behalf of Greenland. How would people feel about that? Good, bad, otherwise, however anybody feels about it, when it politically or anything like that, right? KP, good to see you, sir. How do people feel about that? Like, we have a sitting president, love him, hate him, whatever. Somebody swoops in, just yoink. They're just like, mine, and they take them. That wouldn't be so cool, would it? Wouldn't be that cool. I think if that would happen, people would come unglued, especially a certain, shall I say, faction of people here in the US would come completely unglued for all the wrong reasons. They'd look, that faction tends to look at things of having a savior versus a sitting president. I pray for every president we have. I pray that they do a good job. I pray for every Congress. I pray for every Senate. I pray for every aspect of our leader class, so to speak. I want them to do well. I want them to do right by us. I want them to do the best job they can possibly do. I don't want them to fail. I want them to succeed. I want them to truly do their damn job and do it better than the last guy, right? We set the bar high, right? We don't set it low. We want to set the bar high. I don't know how many sub basements we have at this point. Probably we have that's how we're digging our dumbs, right? Just keep lowering the bar and lowering the bar until you have a full freaking dumb there, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just an idiot. What do I know? And that's totally true, disastrous. Nobody is listening. Um People are, I won't say nobody is listening. People are listening, but they don't want to hear it. People are listening, but they don't want to acknowledge fact over fiction. How do I best put this? I could tell you, hey, it's a bright, beautiful, sunny day here. Granted, it's the 7th of January. It's still a little chilly, but we made it up to like 50 degrees here in the mountains of Pennsylvania today when we just had 2 feet of snow last week. Beautiful. Had a little bit of rain. Okay. I said mountains of Pennsylvania, my perspective on the weather. Go down to where Andrew lives. It's going to be a completely different story, but everybody's going to take it one way or another. Andrew's not going to, nah, it wasn't. Somebody might be like, oh, no, it wasn't 50 degrees today. It was 95 degrees and bright and beautiful sunny. Oh, it was 86 degrees and it snowed all day. Everybody is going to be a contrarian that doesn't want to listen. They're so blind to what's in front of them. There are a lot of people that bury their heads in the sand. It's either they've become complacent and they don't even want to hear it at all because they have to go do the sports ball thing because their gay sports gods call them to watch men's asses on TV or something. I don't know. I'm not one of those guys, so I can't tell you. Maybe, just maybe, it's the whole, well, you know, I only I only watch what's on the flashing magic box that's mounted on my wall, and it's a certain like set of channels that I tune into. They tell me what to think because I'm far too uncomfortable thinking for myself. I am far too uncomfortable grabbing one of these, and actually hitting the interwebs and trying to learn something. I am far, far too uncomfortable picking up a book and reading a book to learn about said things. They just don't want to hear it. No, I'm not comfortable with any of that. I'm only going to listen to what that thing on the wall tells me. That's it. I am putting myself in this echo chamber. La 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 la. That's all they do. Both sides of the fence. It happens both sides of the fence. Extremes are dangerous because they're easy. I've talked about this before. Extremes are easy. There's nothing to be expected. You're either a whack job or you're a whack job, right? Walking the gray, walking the fine line, being able to open your mind, listen with your ears, see with your eyes, experience things, and rationally think about stuff. That's hard. That truly is hard. It's almost like common sense. Common sense has become a superpower in this world. And I have that Batman cowl, but I'm more powerful than Superman most days, or Hyperion, or any of these big super powered over jacked up dudes, because I can like common sense basic basic things. My day-to-day life dealing with people, you would be like blown away some of the stories I could tell you about the it's like this is one of the jokes I love telling. It's like you put the bread in the toaster and then you push the button down and you wait a little bit and then the toast comes out. But where did the bread go? Here's the toast, but where'd the bread go? It's a magic trick. Oh my gosh. That's the type of people I'm talking about. They're everywhere. So we have abject stupidity on top of all that. So we got stupidity going along. Now, there are some factions out there that mix in the stupidity with them all. That's just how it is. Oh, yeah. That double fog monster is absolutely freaking delicious tonight. I am glad you fellas picked that one. It was one of those kind of days. Now, with the tanker situation, let me get back to that. With the tanker situation, Russia came back in response. I've gone to Russian media to translate this and see what they said, and it's legit. Russia has come out and said that, yeah, y'all grabbed up our tank. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, because I'm a dumbass, but y'all grabbed up our tanker. Shouldn't have done that. Um, we could actually drop some missiles on some U.S. ships. Just saying. I mean, potentially it could happen, give or take a little bit. I'm not doing that number thing. I'm just saying, scales balancing. So Russia is saying they are going to, right? But then you have also TMT. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining. I wish I could have hung out last night longer, but in the beginning of this, go back and watch the beginning for the replay crew stuff. I explain it all there. Yeah, they're saying they're gonna on the US. But then we also have many reports coming in. Australia has called for their citizens to get the F out of Iran. We have had US allegedly pushing up and posturing in Iraq to go after Iran. Wonder how many of the IRGC is still in Venezuela. Mind you, in Venezuela, they have security forces and stuff in there, of course, but not to the degree you would think if they're going to occupy and U.S. self-proclaim themselves as the ruler and the one that's running the country for now. You think they'd have more of a security presence. Coming from you, some of you guys in chat as veterans, you get what I'm saying. They would have more of a substantial security presence, boots on ground. How many of the IRGC are still there in country? How many of them are up here in, across the frolicking tra la 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 open borders that still hasn't been closed off? Not 1 mile has been completed. Companies that do that kind of work have been called up to come do it, but then the contract thrown away. Like, oh no, we're not going to do that now. It was more important to hide the Island Boy files and the E list It's more important to suppress that, which they missed a deadline on that. Yeah, that was a thing. They missed the deadline. They've actually committed a crime now against the American people, wide out in the open yet again. But look at my hands. I got nothing. No accountability. Isn't that great? Deadline missed. So on. Tracking stuff in my head. How many TDA and IRGC are in CONUS right now with that open border? Not a mile got covered up. We're going to geofence it. We're going to geotrack, blah, blah, blah. Ain't going to work. Ain't working. Notice how the crossings, oh, we're down to this. Oh, there's nobody crossing because they're not covering it anymore. They only had to cover it until he got into office. When he got in office, then they like covered it like, look what we're doing, and we got this guy and we got this guy. We had DSA or DHS Barbie going down there like pretending she knew what to do with a gun or something, right? That all goes away. We don't see any of that anymore. That don't matter anymore because we're going to tell you what's relevant. We're going to tell you what's relevant, and you're going to follow this. Don't look here, look here. That's what we're going to see. So, how many of these cats are here that if something does kick, we're going to have to deal with it? If they're spurring up conflicts here, there have been reports, and I have seen the planes flying over. Don't have the registration numbers, I have them tucked away. But I was looking at them this morning and confirmed each flight. We have had military aircraft flying over into the UK, like heavy lifts and spookies, the gunships, C 130s gunships, as well as transport planes going over to the UK. If we weren't staging up to do something, those heavy lifts wouldn't have been going over. We have had so many reach flights back and forth. If you don't do so, you suck as an American. Just don't suck. Follow Monkey Works right here on this YouTube's. He covers these planes, has the watch list, has everything. I've talked about him before. He does an amazing job of tracking those planes that actually mean something. He has a great catalog of those planes that can go beep, click on a sky glass, and poof, there it pops up. Everything you need to find right there. Sky glass is an amazing compared to the redneck crap I use, but I still do the job. But I track those planes over. If they're trying to set something up there, if they're bringing in specters, they're looking at a ground campaign somewhere over there. They need air support, fire support from a gunship. That tells me there's got to be a ground campaign. We're not just going to send that quantity of gunships over there to literally just we're not. We're sending those if they need them for right. Old guy hustle. Welcome, Dave. Good to see you, sir. And Sir Bobbert hit the nail on the head. It's not just here. It's everywhere. It's like there's like this underground of moving dumbasses around different places. And I'm not liking the way things are tracking. Coming back more domestically here. I know they did away with the $200 charge for the tax stamp for NFA items, right? They shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have done away with the $200 tax stamp at all. Conversely, what they should have done is done away with the NFA altogether, because that is BS. Whenever we are given something, there is always something taken away from us. And I hope that everybody understands that. There's always a give and take. DJ, good to see you, brother. Oh, hi there. There's always a give and take. For everything that we are given, something is taken away from us to some degree. Always, always. Never doubt that. There's always a trade. Okay, let's put on our thinking caps. If they took away that $200 tax stamp, what is that going to do? Well, what that's going to do is that's going to promote, hey, I ain't got to pay $200 for a tax stamp to get a suppressor, a SBR, or whatever, right? Any NFA item. So guys are going to line up and jump in and do that. You're lining up to do that. Everything's still in play, but that $200 tax stamp. They get a lot of information from a person whenever you still have to register, still have to file, still have to do all that shit, still have to fill out the forms, still have to go through a check, still have to do all that for a piece of safety equipment, piece of PPE. Last time I checked, I did not have to fill out a form and get approval to get a pair of safety glasses or a pair of gloves or ear pro or some type of apron or smock or something or safety toe shoes. Didn't have, or FR clothing. I didn't have to get permission for that. Why am I having to get permission for a safety item like a suppressor? Yeah, I know the whole thing, and they pushed the Hollywood narrative so they could do that. Hey, it's whisper. There are those out there that go whisper. I've shot them. I know. But your average everyday cat out there, Mr. The masses, isn't going to be doing that. He isn't going to know how. He isn't going to have stuff tuned. He isn't going to be using the proper ammunition. He's not going to be going through all the steps to make it. He's going to be just out there, slap the can on, put the thing in. It's going to be cool, right? That's what he's going through. But he gave up all that information. Bold on Blondie made a statement, and she kind of said the quiet part out loud, but not too many people picked up on it. She let us slip out when she was giving one of her statements. She didn't say this, that, or the other. No, what she said was compiling a registry. If I'm giving them all this information, I'm saving $200. Woohoo! But I'm giving them all this information. Now they know everybody that's got this, got that, got the other can go quieter, right? It was a data grab. All it was, flat out. She even said it. Compiling a registry. They want to use this stuff before it all went down. She said about using this to using some shit, whatever, to compile a registry. But that didn't matter because it's like, hey, $200. I won't do it. I won't do it. If somebody wants one, cool, awesome. I'm not shitting on you. Not shitting on you if you want a shorty. I'm not shitting on you for any of that stuff. I'm saying that they should do away with all that crap because shall not be infringed, shall not be questioned, depending on your state. You're not allowed to own Seahawks bottle openers because they might offend somebody or they might be too loud when you go like that on a desk. You can't have that. So we're going to charge you $200 and make you fill out this whole plethora of paperwork that we get all up in your stuff just so you can have that kind of bottle opener. Really? Really? Exactly, DJ. Register these nuts or those nuts. Um, yeah, you have all your fingerprints, all your addresses, like dangerous or disastrous said, and I don't know. My fingerprints have actually changed. I've gotten quite scarred up and changed up over the years, burnt and screwed up my stuff so many times that they're not the same since the last time I had fingerprints done. But let's just keep let's just keep feeding the machine. Keep feeding the machine. There are ways around everything. There are ways through everything. And I don't see this as one. Hey, we literally just got this huge. I'm going to focus on suppressors here. We just got this huge data composition, this massive freaking amount of data on all of these people that bought suppressors. We can go because there's background checks done on people when they buy said firearm. If it's a pistol, they have to what? Register said pistol. So if it's a pistol suppressor, they can track, hey, he's probably putting it on this gun, right? They got all that info too. So they have this massive thing on just suppressor guys, okay? Okay, so those guys have guns. That gives them, boom, these guys have guns. They have something that they're trying to suppress. Full throttle. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. You have these guys with the suppressors. Well, they have to have guns to put the suppressors on, right? Well, let's just go back into this file and oh, here we go. We have this info now. So, what a better way to get information and a data grab if we then want to further infringe? I can't bring myself to do it. We have a suppressor. Okay, awesome. I have a suppressor. Overall functionality. How does it change for me if I'm having to do said things, right? Well, it's quieter. I have to change the gas, maybe different ammo, maybe this, maybe that. I have to tune some things along the way to make it run like a champ, right? Make it cycle good, all that kind of stuff, right? But in the end, can I still pull the trigger, aim down sight, and go bang? Yes, regardless. How much am I really benefiting by giving them information? Fingerprints, address, phone number, the results from my colonoscopy, whatever they're asking. I don't know. Haven't filled one out, won't fill one out. I've had friends do it. I won't go there. Coming from a marksman role was my job. It's what I did. It's what I still do. I am more personally concerned, especially in my AO, area of occupancy. I am more concerned about flash, especially up here in the mountains. Because flash says that dude's right there. I saw that flash right there. Sound, the way it bounces around through the valleys and over the ridges and everything else, somewhere out that general area, we had somebody New Year's setting off fireworks. And I was like, well, that's coming from here. Well, somebody shooting or something. I brought the dog in, was like getting ready to like grabbing up on my shotgun and stuff. And wait, listen again. No, it's coming from out there. I thought it was coming from down here where there's like less than desirable people live. But no, it was actually coming from out there where they have a bunch of farm area and people set off fireworks quite often. No big deal. Whatever. At that point, sound is relative, flash is specific. I would rather hide my flash than kill my sound. My opinion from behind the scope for years and what I did professionally. Just my own opinion. Everybody's entitled to theirs. That's my own personal. Strike Industries, X Logic, Widow, best flash hider in the market. I do like that one. I do. I really do. I also like the CAW linear comp. That thing works pretty damn good too. It actually does lower the decibels by a little tiny bit, not a whole lot, a little tiny bit, but it's containing that flash so it doesn't just like, hey, here's a big marker as to where my specific location is. I do understand that suppressors do have a kill flash quality to them. Some designs do, some don't. Do you think that your average consumer, not talking to the chat here, but the average consumer that doesn't know much about this stuff, is going to know the difference? To know that that's even a thing. They're gonna be like, I got a can. Cool. That's gonna be it. It's gonna be like monkey brain engaged. Hee hoo peanut. Hee hoo peanut. Next thing you know, the stick's getting pulled out and the box falls on them, right? Let's see what Covert says. 150,000 E4 inch process, January prior months. 3K. If those numbers stayed in the hundreds, thousands, are we talking about millions? Lost money. Yeah. Hey, Bobby B, thanks for coming in, brother. Glad you could hang while you could, man. I'll be talking to you. But with all of these other things going on with this NFA stuff going on with the tax stamps, I'm not falling for it. I'm not. Would I like to save $200? Yeah. Do I want to give up all that information to some entity I already know is not acting with my best intentions in mind? They're not acting with honest intentions in their daily operations, let alone in this specific instance, right? Do I want to give them that information? It'd be the same as giving that Saudi Arabian prince your bank account information, your address, your phone number, your social, credit card, all that. Give him your entire life information because he needs to deposit $1 million to then give you 25 million. It's the same kind of shit. It's a scam. It's a freaking scam. I'm sure the same people that fall for that stuff are the same ones that believe that their car's extended warranty is out and somebody's calling them to let them know that, right? And get them set up with a new extended warranty on their car. Like, same caliber of folk that believe strippers actually like them. Just saying. I I understand that disastrous. I do. If I can do it another way, I'll do it. Is it abiding by the regulations and permissions granted to me? No. No. But can I do it? I can. I have a can do attitude and I can do that. Like, I have the means, I have the skill sets, I have material. I can literally do that. Am I going to the Fed watching this? No, I'm not doing that. I'm just talking about this. I mean, it's YouTube. We're having fun. I mean, I'm drinking a beer called Double Fog Monster. Okay, I'm just shitting around with my buddies. We're just hanging out at Cheers, having a brew. Not Whiskey Wednesday. Do not redeem, sir, please, sir. You would be bloody, bloody, fucking your bloody, bloody, sir. Thank you. Have a nice day. You would be pleased to be fucking yourself. Yeah, DJ and I were going back and forth with that the other day. It was quite funny. But I'm not falling into the data grab. I understand people want this stuff, and my stupid little piddly YouTube means nothing in the grand scheme of things. But I'm staying in my piece. I don't think it's a good idea to just jump in at this point. Years gone by, maybe, but they're still got all that information that they can pull into. I would rather find another way. I would rather find another way. There's always another way. It's worth finding another way if you can. Some instances you cannot. If you're trying to say, yes, I'm going to do this right now because I don't have to pay $200 to register this short thing I have, and like pull the fixed brace off and put a stock on it, and then I can have it out and blah 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 because I got the paperwork. I have the permission slip from my mommy. Dude, are you a full grown man? Are you a child? Do you need a permission slip? I'm sure you also ask your wife to write a note for you whenever you have to take off work too. My wife said it's okay. I wasn't feeling good. I got hot. I had the spins. I was kind of diarrhea. You know, why ask for a permission slip? We are already granted permissions. Did 2 podcasts about that. And I went off real spicy over there. Part of the reason they tried to smack my pee-pee didn't work. Didn't work. I did the whole, Chappelle, gotcha, bitch. Episode's still up. If you guys hear an odd honking sound, and that's Noveski. Nova, my cat. The mother of the little orange, fat orange freak and Tacticat you always see up here, that's their mom. Well, hello, Miss Noveski. Do you want to say hi? Big yawn. Come on. Come say hi for a second. Here is my Noveski. This is my Nova. And she's making her honks because she's sick. She's not feeling good and sneezing. Anytime Dad picks her up, she wants to sneeze in my face. And the sad part, disastrous, is it shouldn't even be. There should not even be a thing of 50 state reciprocity for a carry permit. The Constitution stands in all 50 states. Why do I can take this here, but I can't take it there? I can do this here, but I can't do it there. If I'm to travel from here to, let me pick somebody in the chat. Well, he's not here. Justin B. I just go down and see him. Down Florida. I go to see him. I gotta take stuff off, put stuff on, move stuff to the trunk, lock stuff here, unlock it there, do this here, do that there. If I go to Dom, good to see you, sir. If I go to Alaska, not only do I have to do this, do that, do whatever, then I have to jump Canada to get to Alaska and deal with Canadian BS, right? If I go down to Texas, I'm going to have to go through multiple states and constantly be doing all this just to appease the powers. When I lived in Washington and moved here back to PA, I had to do stuff the whole freaking way here. Oh, I crossed into this state. Gotta appease these gods, little g. and it's absolutely ridiculous. There is no reason. There is no reason. No reason. I mean, I know that's the problem. That is the number one problem. When we were founded, we were given that authority. The forefathers, in structuring our nation, gave us that authority. However, throughout time, throughout usurpations, throughout help us, save us, we can't do this on our own. Mommy, mommy, wipe my bommy. It changed. It changed. And we started giving up freedom for what they called security. Benjamin Franklin, right? It's kind of ridiculous that over this time we've given up this authority that we did have. While I was doing some stuff here, I have a storage room here, mechanical room. That's the door is right here to the cave, next to my door coming in. And in there, I have some totes and boxes and stuff like that. And I have an Army Life handbook, an old school freaking Army Life handbook, right? This is back pre everything we know. This is back from 1942. In there, it has a structure of authority. I'll have to dig it out, and I was looking through it, and I was like, no shit, I've been right this whole freaking time. It has a structure, like a structure of authority, and the citizenry, the us of the U.S. were at the top of that pyramid. That was us. We were like the peak of that pyramid. Sister Krista, good to see you. Good to see you. I just mentioned Washington, and there you show up. I was talking to the wife here a while back about Palouse Falls, and I did some like installations for satellite and stuff up in that area. And I was like, yeah, I went down to the falls, was watching the falls. I cannot remember the name of it. And then I saw that one of my buddies from out there had posted a picture from up there. I was like, there it is. So I got to show her Palouse Falls from here, which is kind of cool. Archangel, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I agree, Archangel. It's all kind of a racket. It really is. And taxes aren't taxes. They're extortion. They're extortion. By definition, a tax is something you pay above and beyond the cost of something to give the governing body a share of that, whatever it may be. But that whole income tax thing we started World War like back in World War One. And it was only supposed to be temporary. We're going to drop it off. We're going to get rid of it. After the war, we need this for the war efforts and so on, right? But then it just kind of hung around because I saw, we're making some money on this. Let's keep this going. I said about it before. Never have I seen local, state, or federal entities clock in at any of the jobs I have ever worked in my life. Never have I seen anybody from there clock in with me to work my job, do what I do for as long as I do it. Never have I seen that. So why are they getting a portion of what I'm doing? I am there, and what I make, that money I make, say I make 500 bucks for a week. Just throwing out a number. Say I make 500 bucks for a week. That 500 bucks is a reimbursement to me for my time that I have exchanged with that company that I have an agreement with, that I will exchange my time for their reimbursement. That's what it is. It's reimbursement for your time. Am I going to, or any of us? This is a serious, serious question. I'm going to hit the fog monster first. Guppy Ghillie Suit, good to see you, my friend. Serious question here, chat. And I want you guys to weigh in. Are you going to be on your deathbed and you're going to be like, I am so glad that I spent all of that time in my life working as hard as I did to make sure the insert government entity here had money to do absolutely nothing for me. I am so proud and I am so glad that I did that for so long. That just made my life complete. Are you going to be doing that? I'm not. I'm not. Some people might be. They're probably the same people that need this in current times. They need the pucker powder because they getting their cheeks too tight. Oh, sorry you're not feeling well, Krista. Hopefully everything changes around for you here. I'll definitely be praying for you, sister. No, Krista, you're not going to be on your deathbed feeling that way. No, no, and I think she speaks for all of us. I really do. Archangel, now they can kiss his butt, and let me tell you, that's a mighty fine butt to be kissing. Yeah, get them tight, get them freaking tight today. Yeah, but like, I'm not going to feel that. I don't feel that way. I'm never going to feel that way. I am never going to be happy that what I could have invested in my family used to bless others less fortunate. Different ways, shapes, forms that they take their till we're picked to death by a thousand cuts, right? That's where we're at. But it just keeps going up and up and up. I'm never going to be happy about that because I could have used that to help somebody else. I could have used that to help my family. I could have used that for a plethora of different things that I could have decided. I could have decided. If we okay, let me try and conceptualize and come up with something here on the fly. What if we all took and said, you know what? We are collectively, as a people, we're doing this to the little g gov. We're not doing the tax thing. There is a huge movement right now. Huge. I'm not saying huge. I'm saying this thing is huge. It is bigger than huge. It's massive movement that people were refusing to file and or pay taxes this year for income taxes. They're refusing. Done. Not gonna do it. Coin in the bush, not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture, right? Not gonna do it. So if we all said, nah, we're done. We're done. I'll pay taxes again when the Pentagon can pass an audit. Right? We take a stance and we say, no, we're done. They get how much more money from all these different ventures they have. And there are some people in the chat here that can tell you that the government makes money on the money we give them. They do. Oh, they do. I know a certain gentleman in the chat that understands that whole aspect of things, and he's probably seen it firsthand too, with an inside and outside view. If we say no, we're not doing this, we understand that there are fundamental things that need to be handled. Local government, this is what we will give you. You have to work within your means. We all have to budget within our means to take care of this stuff. State, you are given this much. You have to work within your means. We have to work within our means, don't we? We have to budget, we have to figure, we have to. Sometimes there's too much month at the end of the money, right? A lot of us understand that. Too much month at the end of the money. Federal government. We have given to the state this amount. We are going to give you this amount to be handled by our state, that our state audits what the feds get. State level, we have more control. Local checks the state checks the fed. There's a little bit more check and balance there, because if we have an issue with our state, we can go to the local and be like, look, homie, stuff ain't jiving. We need to do this. The town hall becomes a thing again. The local with the state, hey, the state ain't jiving with us. We got to put them in check. County forum. Hey, we're so many counties come together. We call a forum. Do this, that, and the other. Okay, we're taking it to the state. State, you're not doing what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Keep them in check. Hold them accountable. Then you got your state. Your state then has a little bit more fire under their ass, just flaming up there, to then hold the feds accountable. We don't have that anymore. All we have is lobby groups vying for this. We have people getting into these seats in various sets of government, local, state, and federal, to make money, to do this, to do that, to get kickbacks, to do all that kind of shit. That's what we have now. We literally have a Ponzi scheme before us. In a different structure, kind of like what I came up with there on the fly. If your county people aren't keeping the state people in check, your county people aren't taking care of yours, guess what? Tar and feather, bring it back, make it a thing again. Neighbor, good to see you, Grace. Some of y'all caught the wife in ACR's chat last evening. She was like, "Are you on Andrew's live?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in chat." She's like, "Share his channel to me. I'm gonna get YouTube set up again." So she set up YouTube and jumped back on and jumped in there. Except Illinois, they haven't had a balanced budget for God knows how long. Exactly that. If you had local entities to come together and be like, look, the state is giving it to employees, they're doing this, they're stealing pensions. Local entities come together, hold that state accountable. Go after that state. If this, that, and the other, pound of flesh, yo. Just saying. That's how it used to be handled way back. Way back. But I digress. We have the issue with the NFA stuff. We have the tax issue. They missed the deadline on the Epstein stuff again. And if it comes down to it, we're going to end up seeing an entire document that looks like that, just blacked out, right? That's what it's going to be. Gen X is back. I did miss you, dude. I did miss you. I don't know if you caught the cat. She was in here. Noveski was in here a while ago. And there's Archangel weighing in from halfway across my state. Yeah. Where he's at is literally north of our state capital. The crapital. Yeah, shit in one hand, wishing the other, isn't that true? But we have all of this corruption. We have all of this BS. If you guys had to pick, okay, we're going to start the big shebang bang, the ultimate SHTF that isn't biblical, okay? That whole WW with a number at the end, trace. Okay, that's forming up. If people can't see that, then it's one of those things you need to open your eyes a little bit further. Focus a little more. But would we or any of those people from those other nations actually want to be doing that? Probably not. I would probably rather be playing those damn drums over there. I would probably be rather spending some time with the family. I'd rather be freaking out here singing karaoke with my fam, which I'm doing this weekend, by the way, and I can't wait. Um, I'd rather be hanging out with Sir Vonjamin next door and having a fire out back. I'd rather be playing with the dog. I'd rather be spending time with the grandkids. I'd rather be going down to visit some of y'all within my striking distance, getting together, having fellowship, doing stuff, being having good times. I'd rather be going out, getting my bike and doing my thing, right? I'd rather be doing that kind of stuff. I'd rather be having fun and living my life and enjoying the time I have here on this freaking rock rather than them doing something that could then affect me that I had no say in whatsoever. I don't think anybody in any of those other countries would be saying, let's do this. Sure, sure. A lot of us get that and we're ready to go because we have tasted it, we've tasted blood, and so on and so forth. We're good at what we did. We're probably still fairly good at what we did. Can do it for some more years. And, it's one of those things where we understand that. We've walked that mile, so to speak. The average everyday person hasn't experienced that, so they don't get it. Some people have. We wouldn't, even us coming from our position, we really wouldn't want that. That is the last thing we'd want, even though we get fed up, our frustrations hit an all-time high. We no longer, as men, have testosterone. We have this new thing called pistosterone, right? And we are just ready to just put them up and do the things, right? Take a step back. Do I really want to do that? No, I do not. I don't. I don't want to have to throw any of this crap on and go do those things. I don't. I'd hate to do that. I would do it. I will do it. But I'd hate doing it. It's the last thing I'd want to do. Last thing I'd want to do is have somebody break into my house in the middle of the night. Yeah. Just got done making love to my wife. What's one more? Ting. I'm gonna give it to him. Not like that. Other ways, like that kind of stuff. But I talk about it. We kind of fantasize about it and, play games with it and talk about it. But none of us really even want that either. We don't want anything to do with any of that. We learned violence as a people. We were not created for violence. One mammal that was created for violence was in here. I had a couple of them in here tonight. Cats. They have the perfect anatomy for violence. They even have murder mittens, right? I'm cute. I'm cute. I'm going to kill you, right? Try to freaking rip my finger apart. It's all healed up now, but broke up a fight. And of course, dad gets it. But like what Archangel says, it's always a last resort. ACR and I kind of talked about this a little bit on Frisky Friday. All that stuff is always a last resort. Try to talk your way through it. Like I said earlier in this stream, it was a matter of talk to these other nations. Talk to China, talk to Venezuela, talk to Iran, talk to Russia, talk to whoever, and have everybody like come to the table to help each other out. We are truly not going to be to any kind of golden age if we aren't trying to honestly work together and always do things with honest, heartfelt intention. Having compassion. One of the hardest things to do as a warrior is to have compassion for your enemy. In the Bible, it says about loving your enemy. I never understood that. Never did I understand that. It took me decades to understand what it was about to love my enemy. I mean, come on, disastrous. I get you. I get you. I see you. I know. I know. But it's very difficult to have that compassion, love your enemy. I didn't understand what that meant. I did not until years gone by. I'm like, they're my enemy. They want to end me and end my family and everybody around me. They want to do whatever to me, insert stuff here. Why would I love them? In essence, you kind of get like the whole love the sin or hate the sin kind of thing, but that's not it. That's not it. I want to try and do whatever I can to not go to that ultimate extreme with somebody. If that's the only option, that's the only option. But if I have the option to use this and to use this, I'm going to do so. Yeah, I mean that's not wrong, Krista. That's not wrong. I mean, but I kind of got into it on Frisky Friday a little bit. Like I was ready to just go "Ugh," and go ham on that old dude. I'm younger. My resume underneath whatever. Yeah, he's older. His resume underneath whatever. But it's not about that. I found that time that I humbled myself, that I became compassionate. Like, hey, this guy might need this more than I do. But it was one of those things we talked, we actually exchanged information and data, you know, data, context, details, facts, compress, story, got it out, conversation. Had that conversation with the man in that instance. We became buddies. Granted, granted, on the world stage, whenever it's these guys up here, as you see what I'm doing, pulling the strings, those guys, we don't have any say. If I don't know, insert foreign dude here, not here, but you know what I mean, insert his name. If he is sent here to do what his string pullers are telling him to do, and he is brandished with this ideal that all of us are terrible, we're horrible, we are no, need to end us, whether it be a religious push, whether it be an economical push, whether it be a social push, whether it be a physiological push, whatever the psychological, I mean, list them out. There's a push. that dude is going to come here and try to do what those string pullers are telling him to do. At that point, I'm not okay with that. And I have a hard time justifying the fact that this poor dude has no clue probably that world was different. World was different. Dude might have been like that old dude, and invite him over for a freaking cookout. We're about back playing tunes and drinking and playing cornhole and badminton and shit. We're hanging out and we're actually homies. That's the unfortunate part about all this is that never gets to happen in those instances. It doesn't. I understand, Krista. I get it. I get it. That's why I said not wrong. But masters don't know when to stop. They don't. They don't. Survivor. They don't. ACR is back from his ruck with the doggers. Dude, don't even get me started on the cake eaters. They are these guys. In my book. It's funny when we come up with different turn of phrase for those type of people. You hear things like cake eater. You also hear the phrase self-licking ice cream cone. I use it quite often. That's what it is. It's a self-licking ice cream cone. And they keep piling on more flavors and they keep re-upping themselves. But they keep licking themselves. That's what happens. And in ACR's or not ACR's, in Gen X's self-licking ice cream cone that he tells ACR about, he keeps putting scoop after scoop of frozen mayo on Gen X's ice cream cone. It's time for some more tobacco. Like I said when I started this thing, and I tried to do the intro the same as I do the podcast. So for anybody that wants to go back and catch the intro, just like the podcast. So anyway, both songs was me doing my thing on the computer and on the instruments, separate. Bringing a super soaker full of mayo. But yes, that instance where you're having to be on a, I know some of the gentlemen here understand. For those that haven't been in those situations, being on a two-way range is completely different than being on the one-way. You have to understand there's a person down there, has sons, has daughters, has moms, dads, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, grandparents, wives, girlfriends, fiance. They have family, they have friends. They had a life and they had a job too. They had to embrace the suck and deal with shit the same as us. There's a person there. Something to remember is life is very precious. So before you do things, do your soul searching before we get to that point. Get yourself right with the Lord. Get yourself right here. Get yourself right here before you're in that situation. Believe me, it will save you a lot of sleepless nights down the road. That is facts, Grace. That is facts. If somebody knows, not you specifically, in like the big W aspect of things, or in the big W fact, like element of things, whenever you're on the battle, they can know you, know your tactics, know what you're about, know all kinds of data about you. But I think what she's saying is when that is a specific person, that is the worst. If they know how you think, how you act, how you move, if there's somebody that has trained with you, somebody who has lived with you, knows your ins and outs, your ups, your downs, your flaws, your strengths, your weaknesses. Oh, that's real fun. I've I've been there. Not on a gun two-way range, but in another two-way range, so to speak. It's terrible. Freaking terrible. Oh, but yes, this whole tanker thing. In essence, it's a flex. We saw how long of I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. Right? Uncle Creepy's back there, I'm not touching you. But we've seen that all around the world for months. And it's like now we see the touchy part. It's not necessarily a grabby. We got the touchies going on. Before too long, we're going to start seeing the grabbies and the feelies. Iran and Israel a few months ago were playing slap and tickle with each other. Stuff's shaping up, and don't think that I haven't forgot about the people with the big air cleaners. Okay, I haven't forgot about them. They got these small things that they put back here. I haven't forgot about them. Not giving them a break. I'm just focused on other things because I'm not losing focus on them. I'm just focusing on other things because it's moving faster. Okay, let me catch up. Pink elephant thong. I swear to God, y'all go to that next Texas meetup. He's gonna break it out. He's gonna do it. There's no going back from that. There's no amount of therapy. There are no SSRIs. There are no amount of illicit drugs or alcohol that is going to change things for you and make things better in any way, shape, or form. I'm just telling you. Just telling you. It's life changing. I don't know firsthand, but I can tell you from the way that he goes into depth describing the experience. It's not just an event; it's an experience. When he breaks out the pink elephant thong, there's no recovering from that. Silkies with no liner. Seen scarier things in my life. Oh, my word. My word. But yes, the air cleaners. I'm trying to have some fun with it. But with all of those things going on, the posturing, the saber rattling, and the I'm not touching you, or I'm touching you, but I'm not grabbing you yet, all these things going on. What are we missing? What's going on behind that curtain or screen or whatever? We had something happen here, Conus today, Minnesota. Imagine that. St. Floyd of Fentanyl 2.0 kind of situation, right? But this time, not a local. No, not a local Leo. Allegedly, it's a ICE agent. There's camps that are saying she tried to run him over. There are camps saying no, she didn't. There's angles with this, angles with that, da 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 da. Every angle I looked at, dude was in front of the vehicle. She had been told several times to stop her vehicle, stop, halt, exit the vehicle. They're trying to do a stop and like make sure everything's good. I'm siding with them in this aspect that they were trying to get her to stop while they're trying to deal with something. They're trying to get her to stop. Chances are, if she would have stopped, they'd have been like, look, lady, you got to go that way, right? We're trying to do something down here. It's dangerous. We don't want you getting in that. We're going to have you go back that way. Or they would have detained her until the situation's over. She was kept safe. She would still be alive if she had just relaxed, been humble, had a little bit of compassion. Nay, there was an agenda, an entitlement, and an agenda. Looked every angle I saw, it was literally her going at the guy. The guy was traded for injury and he unloaded, but he's the bad guy. They're trying to, because Tampon Timmy has stepped up and is like he does. And not nearly, we were talking about this in my think tank earlier. Not nearly enough people have driven by his house and called him a retard. So, hence why he's doing what he's doing. He didn't get the message. He's up doing his thing. The mayor is doing his thing. All the talking heads on the left and the right are both doing their things. All the GSIs, government sponsored influencers, are all doing their things. They have their talking points they were given. They have their talking points they were given. If you spent 15 minutes on Twix, you will see that. It's very easy to see. These accounts are all saying copy and paste. These accounts are all saying copy and paste. Really? Anybody in the middle that's questioning either dynamic, the site, the algorithm, the company, they suppress it. They use that alpha India to suppress it. Just because can't have any truth out there, you got to have what we deem as truth. Tale as old as time. It's their lie. They can tell it how they want, right? Except for whenever it actually is a factual event happening. Yeah, I took this little ditty here whenever I was playing drums, and I pulled it up and I went and I totally threw it all the way down to DJ the Metalhead Mercenary's house. All the way out there, and he caught it on a target. It was the coolest thing. And DJ and I could video it and do a cut scene where it's flying through the air in slow-mo. And then there stands DJ with this big styrofoam thing that it sticks into it. It's real. It happened. Did it really? Or did I do my portion of it, send it to him? He's far better at that shit than me, and he composes everything with being a graphic designer, makes it all happen, and posts a video saying, look, Metal and I did this. Is it real? It's real that we did that. We made that video that way, but it's not true. Like a Marvel movie, do you think Thor is actually swinging the hammer and flying through the sky? Do you think Iron Man's real and he has the repulsors and does all the shit? The Hulk gets big and green? I mean, back to those stupid people, right? Oh, they definitely need the outrage. They definitely need the outrage out there. And it's odd that it happened in the same city. Same city. Weird. Minnesota is like really getting a microscope right now. The whole Somali thing, the whole this and that, and the whole walls thing, and now had the whole Saint Floyd of fentanyl, whatever thing, and all that stuff, and Summer of Love and all that stuff, and now we got this. But wait, there's more. Here we go. I sent something to the think tank, and I sent along the Joker from Dark Knight, Heath Ledger. He's like, and here we go. Here we go. You're not wrong, Archangel. You're not wrong. Ooh, that must feel quite comfy and cozy, Lark. The Nasty Girls. For those that don't know, read in the chat, Nasty Girls National Guard. Yeah, yeah, what DJ said. 68 IQ neighbor to the west. Yeah, yeah, they're Captain Phillips. I'm the captain now. You know, why is it they all look like that dude? Is it like something genetic in the country or something? Like, I never understood that. Like, we live here in America, in the United States of America, we all have differences. I mean, I understand that I look like a diet version of Kratos. I have been called Diet Kratos. I have been called Timu Jason Statham. I get it. But these dudes are literally copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste down the line. Even the females look like the males, and it's copy paste, copy paste. They all look like Alon Omar, or they're really big and they look like Alon Omar. I don't get it. I don't get it. All the inbreeding. You're probably not wrong, Robert. Archangel with the Canadian areas joining the U.S. They were talking like Trump was throwing that out there, and all this and all that. And there were certain provinces in Canada that were leaning into it, allegedly. Um, my Canadian people were on the podcast, and I haven't been doing it for a while now. So I'm not getting any feedback from those cats. I can reach out and see what I can find out about Canada up there, what's going on. Haven't seen Adrian in a while. Um, I don't really know what's going on with them. Geographically, DJ's closer than I am, so maybe he has some friends to the north. Um, I don't know personally, so I'm not going to speak to it. What I can speak to when it comes to good old Canada is funny how since Trudeau is no longer, we don't hear much out of that sect of government of our neighbors to the north. Oddly enough, we don't hear him like the great appeaser, Mr. Barry Sirotto. We him keeping his mouth jiving and Big Mike and all that. We keep hearing about him. We keep hearing all this. The FJB rhetoric is like toned down massively. Never hear anything about him. You still hear Hunter quacking, going on Sean Ryan and stuff, which I still haven't listened to that, watched that. But oddly enough, Trudeau disappeared. Don't really hear much out of that echelon and that sect of Canadian government. Weird. Alberta's pretty dope. Alberta's pretty dope. The cats that I used to play hockey with back in the day were from Alberta were pretty freaking cool. They were. Um, yeah, there's some other smaller areas in the other provinces that have some like pretty freaking cool yeehaw people. But some areas, nah, hard pass, hard pass. Don't want any, don't want any of that. Don't want any of that. Man, man, I get all kinds of notifications. Everybody loves me when I do a live. They do. They truly do. That's why I put my phone on silent. But because I'm in studio, I'm not doing direct YouTube. Um, I put the chat up on the phone so I can read the chat because the chat in the studio is way behind from what you guys are actually saying. I can at least get closer to real time on my cellular device. I'm very excited to continue my reporting. Little Borat there. And DJ said it best whenever I had the misses in with Andrew and I. It was like, "This is my wife." I was totally going to say that, and I totally spaced it until he said it. But yes, we have a lot of stupid going on all around us, and it doesn't stop. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going. There's nothing that any of us can do to affect the stupid happening. Biggest thing that I've seen, you can write letters, you can call, you can show up at offices of selected officials. It doesn't really do what it used to do. That whole tax strike thing, that has more teeth than anything at this point. Because think of this. If we have a population, what, 300, 350 million? If the US little g stands to lose one third, just say 100 milli, they stand to lose one third of that revenue from that aspect of things. That's going to like dramatically affect quite a bit. In doing the numbers, I did it a while back when I ran the numbers on it. And I did the whole like Rain Man kind of crap and sat here for like 4 days, like doing it. If 10% of our population here that are paying in withheld, it could potentially do detrimental damage. And I'm not talking emotional damage. No, I'm talking detrimental damage to the little g. If 100 mil, just saying 100 mil for one third of those same people didn't, imagine what that would do. Catastrophic to the collective, right? But it does something else. It makes it broad daylight, clear as a freaking bell. Whenever they're sending this many dollars here, this many dollars there, spending $350 million on gender studies of banana slugs in Peru, teaching Africans underwater basket weaving, teaching the bull porpoise how to blow a bubble, whatever. They come up with all kinds of stupid crap like that in these bills that nobody freaking reads except like Thomas Massey, right? That's why he says no. That's why I'd say no, because I actually read shit, read the fine print before I just sign on the dotted line when I do anything. It would expose literally every aspect of all of that. And if you say it wouldn't, think about it again and then again until you actually see that I spent only what YouTube has given me. This chat currently showing 12 fine, upstanding, amazing, beautiful human beings in my chat right now. Okay. 12. Rookie numbers. Whatever. I love y'all. But I'm only going to spend $1,200 because each one of the 12 people in here gave me $100. TD. Good to see you, TD. Glad you came out, sir. Hope all is doing well with you, my friend. But I'm only going to spend that $1,200 that now $1,300 that you folks have given me. This is all hypothetical. And I'm going to buy a Ferrari. Brand new Ferrari. Whatever model. Doesn't matter. I'm only going to spend that $1,300 and buy a brand new Ferrari. Us logical thinking people are like, wait a minute, how's he going to do that? That's $1,300. That's like, that doesn't even buy an air freshener for in a Ferrari. That's what we're seeing in this whole freaking escapade in the charades. Right? That becomes super apparent whenever 1/3 of that purse goes away. Well, maybe metal's related to somebody that has one that's brand new and they just want to get rid of it. Maybe he won it or something, whatever. I'm only going to buy it with that $1,300. It's maybe, but if only 4 people, I only have $400. But I'm going to say I spent all this money to buy this brand new Ferrari. It's going to be more apparent than it already is. There's some BS going on. Just saying. It makes it blatantly obvious. And anybody that doesn't see it at that point, we take the warning labels off of everything. We take the caution signs off of every road, every street, everything. We just let them go. Because frankly, give it 20 minutes, we're a better nation, better off at that point. Just saying. Maybe it's my autistic mind or something that came up with that and was like, oh, well, but it makes sense to me. If we're not giving, we don't know the amount. Like, there's no way for us to know, you and I, to know the actual amount that is generated through all avenues of said taxes. We know what we give to a percentage, we can figure it out. But we don't know what that percentage actually means in quantitative value for each person that pays into system. Just don't know. So we have no idea what they end up with in their freaking coffers at the end of the day. So whenever they send this billions to here and those billions to there and they do all this other stupid stuff, why are they doing that? We ask that. Why are they doing that? Why are they sending more money here? Why are they sending more military aid here? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing it? Why? We get one W. Why? Who authorized that? Because I know it wasn't any of us. out here in the world or in the US. None of us authorize that. I didn't say it was okay to send that package there and that package there whenever we have people freezing to death, whenever we have people starving to death, when we have people living in the streets, when we have homeless veterans, when we have people that are have lost a job, that are down on their luck. You know, take care of our own first. You know, I'm not going to spend the money that I have in my bank account, that I have worked and my wife has worked and we have saved. I'm not going to spend that money to go way over there to somebody in some other part of the world and throw money at them whenever my roof has a leak, whenever my washing machine and my dryer are on the fritz, whenever my refrigerator takes a crap, whenever my transmission goes out in my truck, whenever I need to put new flooring in, whenever my door is leaking and snow's flying in, or my windows are busted and snow's flying in my own house. I'm going to take care of my own first before I go there. Why are we doing any different? Who is authorizing this to take place? What are they going to do about it to make it right by us? Because we're not getting anything back from that. When are we going to see the return, the ROI? Where are they going to get the money to give back to us? We only ask why. Why are they sending it to there? Why are they doing this? We only get past that why. We only get to that why. We don't ask the other questions that everybody that comes on a platform and talks. It doesn't matter who I listen to. I'm not going to name names. Doesn't matter who I listen to. I only ever hear them asking, why are we sending this here? Why are we spending money on that? Who authorized that? What are they going to do to get us the money back? Keep following the W's. Ask more questions. But we only get past the why. The why. Exactly, DJ. And Sir Robert's right. They're getting how much interest by taking said funds and playing with them to make more, or they go printing machine go brrr, we get that devalues that dollar even more, as I've talked before. They play with that money and they make more for themselves on it. That's all there is to it. Talked about that here a while ago, and there's Sir Robert talking about it right there. They play the games with that money to make more money for them. Self licking ice cream cone. Are they going to do something if they don't stand to gain anything from it? No. And Archangel, you hit it on the head there with two of the aspects: child and sex trafficking, and the money laundering. That's a lot of it. There's a lot of that going on. No, TD, we will never see any kind of return on investment anywhere, anyway, any shape, any form. We would be lucky. I've figured in years gone by with returns. You follow me? With returns. I'm only getting a percentage. How am I getting that percentage back? How does that work? Well, you this, that, and the other, and they convolute everything. They make the muddiest waters you can imagine, make the biggest freaking codes that you could imagine. And I'm not even gonna like make fun of it because it's that ridiculous. So you can never figure it out because XYZ PDQ 11D blue is your answer because pancakes, because elephants don't wear pants. That's the answer you get. Literally, like, I'm not joking. That's the kind of freaking answers you get with stuff dealing with that triple letter. But where does it come from? We don't know. How did they figure out that's the amount that I get back? Bring in this whole Doge thing. Bring in this whole Doge thing and Elon Musk, and it was all hype. It was all BS propaganda hype just to get the Mells all frothed up in their loins and cranking their frogs and all that kind of stuff, right? Nothing ever came of that. That wasn't even really a thing. Allegedly, apparently, who knows? $5,000 checks because of the savings that they, whatever. They took the freaking site and they threw a Doge ticker on it just to say, look at how much we're saving. Look at how much we're saving by doing this. I could put a ticker on here that says how many viewers I have in 1 second. Yeah, granted, they have the thing there with the little people with the number. But I could be like, that's how many people are active in the chat. But I have 14 million watching me right now. Ugh. I got a ticker. I got a ticker for how many double fog monsters are being made right now, this moment. Like, brrr. You can throw I can throw a graphic on here at any given point I want, a ticker at any given point for whatever I want. Doesn't mean crap. ACR, have a great night, brother. I'll be talking to you. Gonna cut $2,000 stimulus checks for everybody because the tariffs, they're great, they're fantastic. They said, sir, they're not gonna work. And I told them they're gonna do it. They're gonna do a great job. Gonna get $2,000 stimulus checks for the people. People love the stimulus. Give them that stimulus. And for the military, we're gonna give them $1,776 checks. I'm looking for mine. It's right there next to my privilege card. I'm sure it's in the mail, which is ran by them anyway. So, a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But you see, we're not really meant to gain anything back. We're not. It's all just smoke and mirrors. It's all something just to get the people feeling good. Like, yeah, my dude is going to come through in the cut and he's going to give me a crumb. An old Gray Goose. Those who don't know who Gray Goose is, Nancy Pelosi, Gray Goose. I'm the drinker of the house. Yeah. You might have saw the video. She's out there. We feed them the crumb. We take care of them. We feed them the crumbs. That's us. They don't have to feed us the crumbs. We just need to be thankful that they are so kind-hearted to do so. Because they are such good peoples. Yeah. Yeah. Did you actually get back the diagnosis, TD? It is full blown. And here's the thing. How many of my brothers out there have issues from the time that you spent in uniform, right? Different things. But then it's not service related. Hmm. Yeah, just like what TD is saying there. They don't see it as a problem. It's not a problem. Not a problem for them, TD. I mean, you got some balls on you to think that they see that as a problem. It's not a problem for them. Freaking assholes. And I'm sorry you got that diagnosis, dude. I had a cousin that had it, and he was an older guy. Not going down that road, but I understand. I understand that. Um, I do also know that there are a lot of people that have overcome it. Don't lean to the doctors, lean to the alternatives. Diet, paramount. There's a lot of ways to get past it where people that have had it and have had it for 20, 30 years are living a normal life. Problems they had went away. Just saying there's a lot to be said about alternative things rather than what they try to force feed you just to do this. Remember, a cured person is a lost customer. But if they do lose you along the way, doesn't really hurt their bottom line that much because they'll just start somebody new. Wash, rinse, repeat. What's VA benefit? Don't know. I had to sign that away. My dad, however, he did get his VA benefits to whatever degree they were, and it was a absolute treat in some aspects because there were some good people that I dealt with for him. But most of the time, it was call and leave a voicemail, never hear back. Call and leave a voicemail, never hear back. Send an email, never hear back. Call and talk to their supervisor, never hear back. Finally catch them on the phone and they have a meeting. They'll get back to me in the next hour. Call never comes in. That kind of stuff, kick the can down the road. That's the kind of stuff I dealt with a lot with my dad. Yeah. Yeah, it was a lawfully welcome back, my friend. Welcome back, my friend. TMT said something last night. You had a question, and I couldn't hear like anything. So I was like, "What's Lawfully's question?" I'm just like sitting there waiting. I'm like, "What is it?" So Lawfully, brother, you have the floor. Ask that question, man. Is this all of my natural hair? Yes, yes, it is. Yes, that is all natural up there. 100% guaranteed. Y'all seen it here firsthand. No AI, no sleight of hand, no camera tricks. That's all real. It's all real. True story, DJ. What Chris has said. I had issues with acid reflux. I still do, but not the same way. Issues with kidney stones, but not the same way anymore. Used to have really bad allergies. Like they still affect me, but not like they did. Not the same way. Got off of Zyrtec, the big pharma remedy. Went and did locally sourced honey within 10 miles of my home. Tablespoon of that, tablespoon of that, tablespoon of that every day. Seasonal allergies gone. Don't have any issues with that. If it's mold, dust, that still hits me. But the seasonal allergies gone. Haven't taken a Zyrtec in since almost February, so it's almost been a year. I stopped taking the omeprazole. I did the Prilosec, Provacids. Back in the day, it was Zantac and Tagamet and all that stuff. I've been dealing with that since I was like 11 years old. Started taking turmeric, whatever. Took that last year. I started in December. I took it until July. I haven't had any issues with acid. Stuff that used to affect me like hardcore, even while I was taking all that freaking pharma crap, doesn't affect me. Doesn't hurt me. I don't wake up in the middle of the night with like the GERD, like acid in my throat, and I want to puke it out. Not to be gross, but I'd wake up middle of the night. Don't have that anymore because I took something natural that actually got rid of it. Used to take cranberry for my kidney stones after I was taking some other pharma crap. Took cranberry for a couple years steady. Haven't had a stone. Weird. Went to the natural stuff away from the pharma and I'm better. Kind of weird. Absolutely. Absolutely, Krista. Detox a couple times a year. And there's several different types of detoxes you can do. Heavy metals, you can get rid of parasites, you can do complete cleanses, all that kind of stuff. It does wonders for you. It truly does. Truly does. And what Sir Bobbert said about changing your diet, yes. Archangel, Goldenrod, and Mullein, they are quite helpful for the allergies. I work in a very dusty environment, so I'm constantly like, because the dust gets me. It's an older place. It's kind of decrepit and falling apart, but like some of the areas will get some mold and stuff like that, and it's like I want to die when I go into those areas. It's very rare I have to, but when I do, it's like, ugh. And then I'm sneezing and hacking for a day, and then I'm fine. Now, whereas before I'd have been like popping my Zyrtec and Allegra and all that Claritin and all that shit and doing my Flonase and everything else. The only thing I use is saline anymore. When my sinuses are dry or I do get a sickness or anything, which is very rare. Generally, when I get a sickness anymore, it's like a gut rot or like a stomach bug or something. But that's all I get. I don't have to deal with all that pharma crap. Plenty of natural ways to do stuff that we did far before the pharmaceutical industrial complex was a thing. Doing Amish buggies. Well, I mean, they still have Amish buggies up this way, but I'm not sure what you're referring to as far as Amish buggies. Isn't that crazy, Krista? Isn't that crazy? Weird. Like, there's no way. There's no way. Okay. Anything that can ail us, we have been given the ways to heal said things. Fact. Fact. There are things that man has created that we didn't know how to heal until we did some research. Doctors, real doctors, How long has it been? Let me ask you guys here, and I need real answers. How long has it been, if ever, that you went into a family doc, a PCP as they call them, right? Family doc. They drew your blood there in the office, put it on a slide under a microscope that's on the counter, and actually looked at your blood draw through a microscope. When was the last time you encountered that, if ever? I have. I have. And it was back in the 80s, in the early 80s, like early to mid 80s. There is a lot of great channels out there, TD. I am telling you. Oh, I know, Justin. They were terrible for me, but I made it through way easier than I have ever before this past year, getting away from the allergy meds. Oh, Archangel, that was years ago. That was back in circus like 2002 through 2004 when I lived down in Lancaster. I was doing the Amish buggy electrical and the solar and the hydro and the wind and alternators and the buggy lights and buggy alternators and all that shit. Installed stereos in Amish buggies, installed flip down monitors and buggies. That was back then. Now I'm a trained circus poodle. I jump through flaming hoops all day. Weird how that happened, right, Krista? Weird, weird. TD, the 80s, right? Right? She speaks truth, gentlemen. Listen to what the sister has to say. Sir Bobbert, not since you were a kid. Right. So a couple of us weighed in, haven't had a blood draw in a family doc's office where they put it on a slide, put it under a microscope, and looked at it in the office to see something, what's going on. No, it's we're going to send you to the hospital where they're going to charge you $17,000 to pull 3 vials. We're going to run it for these things, but not look at those things. We're going to look at the tracks that we want to look at because these are the mainstay things that we can get people on to start poisoning them, to create all the other side effects that then we get to treat them on. Turn on a commercial or turn on TV and watch the commercials. Regular syndicated TV. Every freaking commercial, every other commercial. If it's not self promotion for their own shows or something on their channel, if it's not like big food or tech, it's going to be big pharma, and big pharma pays the most. Every other commercial is like Ozempic or something like that. When you see those kind of commercials, listen to all the side effects they talk about with that medication. Don't take Ozempic if you're allergic to Ozempic. Well, how do you know if you're allergic to Ozempic unless you take it? I know I'm allergic to penicillin because I was given penicillin when I was little. And I had very, very, very bad reactions to penicillin and its cousins years gone by. I cannot touch that stuff. I have to take other antibiotics. I cannot take a penicillin based antibiotic. We found that out. I stay away from all that stuff. No. But I never took it before, so penicillin's like one of the mainstay antibiotics. Well, you can't. Well, don't take it if you're allergic to it. Well, duh. No shit, Shirley. I'm not going to take it if I'm allergic to it. Are you fucking new? you know? But the side effects that they list out, well, it's going to affect your liver. It's going to affect your kidneys. It might take and make your butt turn into a fucking burrito. I don't know. There's like so many side effects that could actually be one of them. I don't know. But the side effects don't outweigh the benefits in those commercials if you're listening to what they're saying. TD, you do what you got to do, brother. I'm glad you could stop by. Glad you could swing into the chat and get in there and do some things and come see us. And I'll be praying for you, TD. Much love to you, brother. Yeah, they always send that blood out. Doc, when I was a kid, did the slide under the microscope, dropped it in the centrifuge right there, had different little drops he put in for different things and so on, and hit the button. It's spinning there while he's looking and analyzing and talking to us. It was actually a doctor, real doctor. Now it's called treating the patient. You have to be patient so they can treat you like a specimen. Back then, it was curing the person. Completely different. It changed. Oh, well, that's cute. That's cute, Krista. I she's not in here, so I'm gonna do a shot of the screen on that so I can show the beautiful lady upstairs because she loves those kind of facts, as do I. The one thing I can give Mike Pence credit for is one thing he said when he was debating the Timu Jamaican, the Wish.com Indian, Hills Up Harris, and she was running word salad. He said to her, he said, it's okay, you can have your own opinion, but you can't have your own facts. And that's not a fact. Yes, you can have an opinion about stuff, but have you can't make up a fact. Just because you said it doesn't mean it's a fact. Yes, functional medicine to actually cure people. Why is it they have to give it a title like that? Look at that word, functional, meaning it works. Excuse me, Metal. Does that mean that if I take the stuff that the doctor's given me, that I'm gonna get worse? Yes, Mel. You're definitely gonna get worse, buddy. Well, why would the doctor do that? We were told to trust the science for years, Metal. I know, Mel, but you were being lied to, my dude. You have to wake up and realize there's a world beyond the flashing magic box, my dude. Just step outside, get that fresh breath of freshly sprayed air. Y'all get my reference. Freshly sprayed air. And you touch some of that grass. Get out in the woods, get out in nature, talk to some real people. You might learn a couple things, man. But Metal, I'm just supposed to trust the plan. Mel, stop doing that. Stop doing that, Mel. Stop trusting that plan. Trust your instinct. Trust yourself. Trust what you feel. Go with that just a little bit, man. I'm not asking you to jump in the deep end of the pool or anything, doing a kamikaze 75,000 degree samurai flop into the pool. I'm just asking you to just touch that toe in the water, Mel. Do you think you can do that, Mel? Well, I don't know, Metal. They haven't told me yet. Mel, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, brother. Stick that toe in the pool, man. Especially for your own health. Your own health. Do that, dude. Mel, we've had our differences in the past, man. But you know what? I'm willing to say, dude, I care about you, man. I want you to be healthy. I want you to live a long and productive life. I want you to give up that BS. I want you to see the world for what it is, good or bad, but to see things for real, for what's really there. To know that there are beautiful aspects of this world. There are beautiful people in this world. There are terrible aspects, and there are terrible people. But you need to see that to be real, to understand the time and the place we live. So, Mel, do you do you do you think you might be able to do that? Just I'm not asking you to jump in. Just dip that toe in that pool, man. Just start.
Well, I guess so, Metal. I'm kind of scared because I don't really think for myself. I just do what they tell me to do, Metal.
It's okay, Mel. There are plenty of us out here that are gonna be there with you and will help guide you on this journey. Just stick that toe in the pool, my friend.
I guess I can do that, Metal. I'll let you know how I make out.
There, you guys get to see me have a conversation with Magamel. That's how it happens on the podcast. That's literally what happens here on the podcast. I'm literally having a conversation with myself portraying Magamel. Ah, yeah, isn't that crazy? They're changing up the whole ting. Mm-hmm. If you don't think you can do a fast, think about it this way. Do you eat in your sleep? Do you eat in the shower? Do you eat while you are physically doing things at work? While you are physically active? Probably not. Do you eat in your sleep? No. That's fasting. When you're not eating, you're fasting. I have done. It took me a long time to convince her to let me do it because Mrs. just wanted to mother me and constantly be feeding me full of food, constantly keeping my belly full. Well, my belly started getting bigger. She always wanted to make sure I was taken care of because I hadn't been in the past. Like, nobody cared. My exes didn't care. I eat good. I eat real good. But I wanted to start fasting because I did that whenever I was a fighter, when I fought MMA. I fasted. Whenever I was doing different operations, I fasted. Water, simple carbs before the operation to get me some energy, right? To get me through. I don't want to have anything sloshing around in there. So I'm not going to eat a freaking all American slam at Denny's or a lumberjack or moons over my hammy or go to the greasy spoon before I go out and I do those kind of things. When you break that fast, breakfast, break fast, eat things that are simple to digest. Start with simple fruits. Having a bowl of freaking mixed fruit juice. Love coffee. Horsepower coffee. Buy it with your money. Buy it. Drink your coffee. Drink your tea. I drink some energy drinks. I drink Red Bull. I drink, well, the Aldi's Red Bull, Red Thunder. I'll drink a Monster here and there and so on and so forth. But your drink, simple fruits. A simple way to break that fast because your body isn't used to breaking down complex things at that point. Once you hit that point where your body's in a regenerative, reparative state, it's not geared into the way of processing foods again. Think of it this way: for my yeehaw fellas out there that don't get the whole dietary thing and how the systems work, but you understand your truck. When you put it in four-wheel low to be able to crawl through, get through that mud, get through that snow, whatever, you can't just expect to do 80 in four-wheel low. Got to stop, take it out of four-wheel low, sometimes unlock your hubs, whatever, depending on your vehicle, not getting into the semantics of vehicles. But you got to take it out of four-wheel low and put it back in drive or start shifting, working your gears again. You got to get out of four-wheel low. Best way to do that is slowly. Simple fruits, get some vegetables, maybe some basic proteins and stuff like that, breaking your fast. Not the pancakes and eggs and ham and sausage and this and that and the toast and the. You don't need all that to break the fast. Just saying. Your body will start repairing itself. I finally convinced the wife to let me start doing that kind of thing, and I did, and I started feeling freaking fantastic. Then, after I did that and I started getting myself repaired, what did I do? I started eating more like a carnivore. And oh, Bad Dream has done that, and he can tell you it's worthy. It is worthy. And I'm sure some of you guys in the chat here, you have done carnivore and how mighty you can feel doing that kind of thing. But it is not the end all be all. It is a way to repair certain things in your body. You don't always want to do a carnivore diet. We are not meant to be carnivores. So don't just stick to the meat. I love eating all that stuff, but I can't. I can't. I'm not designed that way by divination. I can't. I have to eat other things. I don't like to eat my vegetables, but I do. I don't I like I'd rather eat a thing of Swedish fish or Sour Patch Kids than eat grapes and oranges and strawberries and blueberries and raspberries and bananas and stuff like that. I'd so much rather eat Sour Patch Kids and Swedish fish and all that kind of crap. Yeah, because it's just good, right? But that's junk. I've trained myself into eating the good stuff, and it's so much better. So much better. My water's a old Craig. They have these things. They're an at home flour mill, a grain mill. Sit right on your counter. Pour in the fresh grain, and out comes the flour. Literally grain that you can buy locally. You could even grow it on your property, whatever your situation. You can mill that right there, have the flour to do your stuff. Just saying. Just saying. They're not that expensive either. I think the top end, like the higher end ones I saw was like $150. The decent ones I saw were like around 60. Just saying you can mill your own flours at home. Whether it's rye, wheat, whatever, you can mill it at home now. And if you need to do it with a generator, you can. Tea and jerky nut. I like my teas. I can't drink them though, except green tea and white tea. And jerky. I love jerky. It's just way too expensive to buy it. So you got to make it. Unfortunately, you got to get a dehydrator and do that kind of stuff. And you can get 150 to $100 depending on the bells and whistles and shit. Make your own jerky, make your own fruit roll ups and all that kind of stuff. They're awesome. I am looking forward to placing my order with horsepower. I really am. I'm I'm holding on for a little bit for a reason. Because I'm ordering something as a gift and I want it to be maybe a little fresher or something. And Biltong does go hard, dude. Biltong. Oh yeah. But I also have a plethora of Cafe Bustelo because that's my jam that I'm working down that I want to incorporate like Cafe Bustelo horsepower. So I can rotate. So that way I'm not just getting like espressoed out. Dude, I don't know about the e-bike for me, but I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I talked about it on TMT's live last night a little tiny bit. I cannot wait to get that KLX 300. Oh my gosh. That's going to be so cool. I'm going to be like the coolest kid on the street with it, with that thing. Carbureted freaking bike, adventure bike that I can take street and trail. I know the types of tires. I'm not new to that stuff. I know all that stuff well. I know the types of tires I need and everything else, and I can get them right from the shop. I can get them put on from the get go. Except here's the trick: I'm going to take the tires that originally come on it, and I'm going to take them with me. No, 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 shop! You're not getting those back. Those are mine. I purchased them on brand new bike. You come home with me. But I'm taking those tires with me, and I'm getting the ones I need for my AO, just in case I end up in a situation where I need tires. Period. I can make them work. I have I've driven on tires that there's no business driving on tires, and I've driven on them perfectly fine. So I'm not worried about the type of tire so much as I am having tires. Y'all catch my drift with that. But it's a bike that I can actually work on. I can get a few things for, and I can have here around the house. Should stuff happen, I can keep it going. I researched the crap out of those type of bikes, and the KLX 300 was the one that I found that's going to fit me the best, and I'm going to be able to work on with my capabilities the best. So, Sir Bobbert, that's facts. I can neither confirm nor deny that they may be getting a little treat. They're good tires, so they might get a little treat because they're good tires. Good boys get good toys. We always tell Magnus that. Good boys get good toys. That's the finish of the double fog monster that I don't even know if Covert Breakout's still here. He's the one that conned me into it initially. He was the first one. Double fog monster. Yeah. But all that being said, I want to come here and talk about the world crap. I wanted to talk about domestic crap. Stuff's not getting any better. I kind of skirted as I didn't want to go too spicy because of the platform I'm on. Um, but I think the group that was in here, all the cool kids, they catch the drift. They know how to look things up. They know how to do their research, or they are already informed. So I didn't get that far into the weeds. I wanted to talk about it. I didn't want to go full on complex into things. Okay. Just because I still want to have a channel because I have fun here too. Okay. But This is me here doing not a Whiskey Wednesday because I have had several messages about this stuff all day long. I just wanted to come on and throw a dumbass opinion out there and some actual perspective on different things. But I am glad you guys joined me tonight. I have to go up. I have to go hug that beautiful lady. I have to scratch on that handsome little man. Gen X is right. We had some I mean, we little shenanigans tonight. More like dumb fuckery, but I digress. Any weasel. I don't know when we're doing the next Frisky Friday or Whiskey Wednesday or anything. Andrew and I haven't talked about it. We have talked about all kinds of other stuff, just not that yet. I do want to have some people come on and join me in this type of format. I probably will not be partaking because it will be a serious format. I almost did a video last evening talking about this kind of stuff, like a direct, straight format, robot metal talking to you about things, just like the podcast, but not spicy. But I didn't do that. I told her I'm going to do this tonight. And she's like, okay. Anyway, I don't want to set her. She is my world and my life, and she's upstairs probably waiting for me. Better Friday night. A lot better Friday night, Sir Bobbert. Sister Krista, stay blessed. Stay safe. Keep Tri Cities in line for me. All right, guys. I am going to jet, but as I leave, I'm going to play you guys out tonight. I am not just doing the okay, bye kind of crap. No, I'm going to play you guys out in proper metal style. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a great night, great morning, great evening, great weekend. Whenever you end up watching this in replay, crew guys, thanks for jumping in to the live chat. You guys are superstars. You're the reason I keep coming back here and putting my face on the interwebs. You guys are fantastic. You're amazing. It's my my whole reason is coming back here and just like hanging with you guys. You guys are great. So be safe, be blessed, keep it real, keep your powder dry, keep your head on a swivel, eyes and ears open, trust in the Lord, trust in yourself, trust in your people. Until next time, metal out.